Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, this is Jason, the Canadian YouTube creator. That's right. And of course, also known as Jason Cosmic RSSP Authority. My present subscribers, they'll know what RSSP stands for, but for you newbies out there, it stands for Real Secret Space Program. Way up there in space and way deep in space, millions of miles, is represented by my glorious photo in the infrared. And it says, infrared photograph of one of the gigantic cylindrical objects taken by the Hubble all the way in the rings of Saturn. That's amazing technology. If you guys watch my previous videos, I tell you several reasons we can know that it's staffed by U.S. naval officers. That's right. But today, my friends, I want to continue on with the series of the dirty players that I believe elements of the CIA put out there to distract the public, to lie to you out there so that you don't understand what's going on with the real UFO flying programs out there, the military UFO flying programs. That's right. And I believe I did a series on this guy, and we're going to do it again starting right now. But actually, just before we do, pardon me, I hope you guys appreciate my intellectual honesty. As I always say, I'm trying to be bold, honest, open, and true. Right from the heart, my friends. I'm trying to help us together bring that sufficient transparency that's needed, right? To be advocates for the truth and ultimately break down the walls of this crazy, absurd elite secrecy. Because it is, my friends. And it's outrageous what primarily the defense contractors are doing, but also, you know, elements of the government leadership, which we'll get into hopefully in this video. So, my friends, here he is. Here's the guy that I want to talk about. Oh, and I hope you guys will subscribe to my channel. Pardon me, that was my point. I want to grow this channel so I can sell my shirts. I got a couple subscribers interested. I'm very thankful. I hope you guys might want to share my videos. I hope you'll give me the like button, hit that icon, you know, the like, the thumbs up, and leave a comment if you want. I read them. I thank all my present subscribers, okay? So let's go on here. Stephen Greer, Mr. Alien Boy, I call him. He kind of looks like an alien, doesn't he? No, just kidding, Stephen. A lot of people make funny comments on this guy, but there's a lot of true believers as well that actually believe in his messages. And my friends, I'm telling you, he's just a con man largely, in my opinion. A lot of people think that, you know, they call him just a liar or a con man. Well, it's actually more than that. We'll get into that. But you see, he's sitting in front of the White House. Here's where it comes into where he's just more than a liar, my friends. Look at this guy. If he doesn't look like a CIA asset, I don't know what is, my friends. Because I'm telling you, I am convinced that he is just involved in, again, he's one of the stooges for the CIA. Or you could say, I don't want to use the word, you know what word I mean, right? I don't want to say the word because apparently with some of the YouTube's biased algorithms, I can't even use the word you know what I'm trying to say, right? I'll say it, puppets. Because you view it as spam, one subscriber thought. I mean, it's just crazy, right? But anyway, we'll just say he's just a stooge largely. He's a CIA asset, my friends. It's crazy. But this is what the governments do. You know, what is Stephen Greer's, what's his whole story? And of course, he's got Sirius disclosure, right? That he's been at for years and years, right? Where again, they spin it for ET. Stephen Greer and the Sirius disclosure. Remember, they had, what was it? 80, actually, I think they had over 100 pilots and military personnel that it was carried worldwide on mainstream media, right? And it was kind of interesting, right? They would come out with their stories, and they had the radar tapes of tracking UFOs and lots of, you know, eyewitness testimony as well, I think. But my friends, nobody, it's inexplicable to me to this day why nobody used the correct term, which is military UFOs. And of course, Stephen Greer and Sirius Disclosure, they never used the term military UFOs. He admits that some are man-made. He'll admit that because you got to. I mean, the military have so many military UFOs and drones, right? but then he spins it for ET. He tries to con you and persuade you and lie to you, saying that we've got lots of intelligent civilizations as well coming down to Earth, right? They're here. I mean, flying around these trillions of dollars of hardware, in other words, my friends. It's a totally false narrative, and it is an outrageous, ridiculous proclamation and pronouncement, my friends, coming from this man. This guy spouts off so many lies. I just get so exasperated with this guy. This guy vexes my soul, my friends. And I'm telling you, he is a CIA asset all the way around, working within the regular government, outside the military arena. We'll get into that more, my friends. He's involved in a diplomatic U.S. PhyOp. Okay? He is. And this whole Sirius disclosure, it is a U.S. PhyOp. It's a marketing merchandise scheme and scam, my friends. And Stephen Greer, we know, is the front man for it, right? You see, here it is, my friends. Here's the point and what you got to focus on. I've said this before. It is the mandate of the CIA, the NSA, the NRO, the Deep Black program contractors. It is the mandate of them to lie, deny, and deceive at the expense of American taxpayers. And that means millions of people worldwide. Now, Stephen Greer, he admits some truths. He does a good job at times talking about the corporate intelligence community, right? And some of the structure, the secrecy, and sort of who's in control. Because he tells you in so many words that the government has lost all control of the military technology. And he's absolutely right, my friends. And here's the black budget technology. I've told you guys before, we're going to do a whole new series on the TR-3B, the amazing exotic technology, my friends, and it's free energy, baby. It absolutely is. So Stephen does some good job talking about the corporate intelligence community, but what he doesn't tell you is that the regular government, who I believe has hired him, the CIA, within the regular government outside the military arena, again, he's involved in this PSYOP. What he doesn't tell you is the regular government, they still finance the military technology, but yes, they've lost all control and management of it because it's all buried within private corporations, right? And the military, what they do is, and these shadow groups, they use the private corporations that are usually affiliated and contracted within the military. That way they can hide everything. They're above congressional oversight, no public scrutiny, right? They're totally divorced from any unencumbered responsibility and accountability. And that's disgraceful. And what Stephen Greer, my friends, though, what he's doing is largely disgraceful because he's lying to you. There's no ET civilizations visiting us and responsible for the trillions of dollars of UFOs flying around our skies. It's all military UFOs, my friends. Why doesn't this guy just let our astronomers, people with noble intentions, searching for extraterrestrial life, I always say, let them do their jobs. We don't need a goofball, a CIA guy, Stooge like Stephen Greer, trying to con you into thinking that some are ET, because it's a very dangerous agenda that he's with the CIA saying this, my friends. Because remember, what the CIA wants you to think, they want you to think that there could be some threat out there someday, right? That the military are going to have to, in other words, engage some extraterrestrial races out there. That's what Stephen Greer is basically telling you that's going to come down the pipeline. He says that the ETs are all peaceful, right? And he admits, though, that there's man-made UFOs and that one day they want to create this, this stagecraft scenario where the military, actually, he claims that they are shooting ET craft as we speak in the skies. My friends, the military, the only UFOs they're shooting may be other UFOs, other military UFOs like Russia UFOs and Chinese UFOs. There are no extraterrestrial races out there, my friends, okay? Let's get that out of the way. Let's use discernment. Let's know the truth, okay? But this is why, one of the reasons why Stephen is a CIA asset, because they spin it for ET. And the Sirius disclosure, my friends, do you notice? On almost every video, on so many of the videos, they've got titles with ET on it. ET this, extraterrestrials on the moon. I'll never forget, there's a video out there, And it's with the whistleblower, the famous whistleblower, Carl Wolf. Remember, my friends, Carl Wolf, he was one of the witnesses for Sirius disclosure, 15 years ago, right? And he's been telling the world ever since he waited about 15 years after he retired, or 30 years after he retired, to tell the world that he saw pictures of structures of towers, domes, satellite dishes, basically. He was describing man-made structures on the moon. And what does Sirius disclosure do, my friends? They title it Extraterrestrials on the Far Side of the Moon with Carl Wolf testimony. I mean, it's just outrageous, right? They will not admit, the CIA, the NRO, the NSA, the governments, my friends, they will not be courageous and explain away this cover-up honestly and be honest. You see, that's their problem. That's why I believe they've got Stephen Greer. They hire this guy as a CIA asset, spouting off all this nonsense of extraterrestrials here, ET, right? Because the governments aren't courageous enough. They're having problems explaining away the cover-up. I've said this before, my friends. You see, and Stephen knows this as well. Stephen will admit to you, he admits that we did the gravity research. He knows we made the breakthrough in the 1950s. He'll tell you that. Although he gets the dates wrong. You know, he claims that he's read a document that he names the month. It was in 1954, a certain month. Actually, it was before that they made the gravity breakthroughs. Because if you recall, my friends, Gordon Cooper, the famous NASA astronaut, he was even seeing flying saucers in 1951. Okay, he tells you. And so those were more military UFOs. They had already made that gravity breakthrough. Remember, my friends, this started in 1947. Okay, particularly when the Americans brought over those paperclip Nazi scientists in 1947, and actually the Nazis had made a breakthrough even before 1947. But technology progress really got ramped up, and those breakthroughs really came even more starting in 1947. So Stephen Greer, my friends, he keeps spinning it for extraterrestrials, that they're here, operating flying craft as well. And it's just, again, it's garble, my friends. It's nonsense, okay? And as I said, the governments are having troubles explaining away the cover-up. Just like Greer said, it all goes back to the 1950s, my friends. So as a government and leadership, how do they explain away lying and trying to cover this up? For 60 to 70 years we're going on now, my friends. I know, this long. It's just crazy, right? And how do they explain away stealing exorbitant amount of, or using exorbitant amount of resources, of course, gold, silver, all these base metals, a lot of it for the UFO flying programs. How do they explain away using, or stealing, pardon me, trillions and trillions of dollars from U.S. taxpayers' pockets, using covert economic crime cash flows to the tune of trillions of dollars over the decades as well. Again, largely for the UFO flying programs and the massive off-planet investment, therefore, on the moon and Mars, my friends, for decades. How do they explain away that? You know, as soon as they try to explain that away, of course, we know their credibility and authenticity is going to be looked at. You see, it's going to force a look at their entire authenticity and credibility. Therefore, the credibility of most of the government will be destroyed, my friends. Okay? That's their problem. And that's why they lie to you. They will not be courageous, and they spin it for ET. And they try to distort reality, in other words, my friends. And you get all this misdirection, deflection, right? Orchestrated, strategic distraction, misinformation, and disinformation. We know, my friends, and Stephen knows, and he's hired to do part of this, the disinformation when it comes to ufology, military UFOs, my friends, it is off the charts. It is absolutely off the charts. And Sirius disclosure, again, it's a CIA marketing merchandise scheme. Do not be fooled, my friends, okay? I will never vacillate, as I always say, from my conviction, that it's all military UFOs. And there is no doubt Stephen Greer is involved, I believe, in a CIA diplomatic PhyOp. Now, what is a PhyOp? Well, PsyWar, or psychological operations, or the back aspects, of modern day psychological operations, PsyWar, they use the word PsyOps. Now, again, PsyOps, the term is used to derive or to denote any practice that is practiced mainly by psychological operations with the aim of elucidating or evoking a planned psychological reaction in other people. Okay? And the word PsyOps, it has many different names. Of course, you have MISU, again, PsyOps, psychological operations, political warfare. So there's many names, my friends. And there's various methods involved when it comes to PsyOps, of course, right? It's with the goal of influencing, people's objectives, motives, behavior, right? Reasoning, and ultimately the behavior and objectives and really in favor of the originator's objectives, my friends. Okay, that's what a PsyOps is, and it can be used in conjunction with false flags, black op operations. The PsyOps is very, very common, my friends, especially within the military. But there's 3 different types of PsyOps too, right? There's, of course, there's tactical, there's operational, and there's diplomatic. And Stephen Greer fits in with diplomatic PsyOp, my friends. Absolutely. It's just another part of the U.S. psychological operations. Another way of describing PsyOps, my friends, the term is used to, basically it's used to, how do I say it? Again, influencing, objectives and reasoning, right? It's to, you can use it to assert confessions, of course, I meant to say as well, right? And it's to give indicators to an audience, to convey information or indicators to an audience, again, to affect objective reasoning. You're going to use persuasion often. That's what Greer does. He tries to use persuasion and con you, my friends. Keep that in mind, right? And ultimately, it is used to. They use these methods to affect, government or organizations or groups and individuals, my friends. And so, U.S. psychological operations, the term is used to reinforce. Basically behavior that is favorable to U.S. objectives and U.S. policy. And that means internationally often, my friends, right? That's what U.S. psychological, and the U.S. psychological operations, are a very important part of the informational, military, and economic activities available to the U.S., okay? And that's what Greer's doing, my friends. He's collecting all this information, from the corporate intelligence community. You see, working for the CIA, the regular government per se, my friends. That's what he's doing. And he won't be honest and tell you that it's all military UFOs. And he's making a shitload, of money, my friends. This is why it's also disgraceful. This guy, remember, he's an ER, he was supposedly, he was an ER doctor, right? A trauma doctor. That's just all part of the cover project, my friends, right? That's just a perfect cover. That's what the CIA often do. And remember, he also had a family member. He brags that his uncle, worked for Northrop Grumman on the, he was the head of the, building the lunar module that took the astronauts to the moon. He loves to tell you that story. But he never tells you, of course, that thousands of people worked on the lunar module. It wasn't just his uncle. I mean, come on. But anyway. See, this is again what the CIA often do, my friends, the intelligence community. They'll pick a person that's had a family member that worked for the government. It only makes sense. So again, this is just all part of the cover project, my friends. And who on earth would retire from, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, as he admits, being a doctor, he made great money, and to do this diplomatic effort to supposedly try to bring truth and transparency to the UFO phenomenon, my friends? Come on. And disclosure? He's working for the CIA, my friends. Nobody would retire from being a doctor to pursue this, right? And he tells you that the Air Force chose him. He even admits to you, he basically tells you in so many words, my friends, that he's working for the CIA. You just got to use discernment, my friends. It's there. The evidence is there. It's all over the place, my friends. This guy is a CIA stooge, so don't believe it when he spins it for ET, my friends. That's bullshit. Excuse my language. Anyway, I got to go, my friends. Thank you for being gracious with your time. We may do another series on Stephen Greer. I want to talk about some of his ridiculous pronouncements on ET that he puts out there, my friends, to the public, to the world. Remember, he's at over what, 1.6 billion people viewing the Sirius Disclosure Project on Netflix? And a lot of these people are being confused, my friends, because we're all being lied to on there from the CIA and the government. Stephen Greer spouting off his ET bullshit, okay? We'll do another video, I think, on Stephen and really break him down in his statements, my friends. It's outrageous, okay? And we'll expose the other dirty players for, I believe, the CIA putting them out there for the public. Excuse me, my friends, okay? So lots of great videos to look forward to, my friends. This will be the series on exposing those dirty players. Thanks for listening. I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you share my videos and give me that thumbs up, like, and I hope you enjoy my videos. Take care, my friends. Have a great day. Bye.